Hi, I'm Erica Williams from Campus Progress. Recently, Jason Mattera of Young America's Foundation put out a short video laying out the problems the conservative movement is having attracting young people. It was hip and well put together.
I'm Jason Mattera with Young America's Foundation, the organization that saved the Reagan Ranch and introduces thousands of young people to conservative ideas.
Unfortunately, almost nothing Mattera said was true. The video was filled with distortions and suffered from a general lack of understanding about young people. If conservatives are looking to folks like Jason to right their ship with young people, the power of progressives will only continue to increase. Mattera starts the video by explaining why so many young people are turning towards the progressive movement.
First off, the left's billionaire sugar daddy, George Soros, has pumped millions of dollars into generating liberal activism on college campuses through a left-wing group, the Center for American Progress.
Not really. The Center for American Progress is a progressive think tank that covers a wide range of issues, not just youth activism. Now, there is a youth division called Campus Progress, and we do focus on engaging and mobilizing progressive youth. So, is what Mattera says about Campus Progress true? Are we really basking in $100 bills every day? Hardly. Campus Progress has an annual budget of about $2 million. Young America's Foundation, that's Jason's organization, has an annual budget of about $13 million. That's 6.5 times bigger. So for Mattera to argue that the progressive tilt of younger Americans is due to left-leaning folks spending more, it just isn't true. In fact, it's laughable. All told, conservatives spend over $40 million a year on programs for young people. Yeah, the conservatives have some problems, but cash flow, that's not one. And by the way, we are grateful for support from George Soros' foundation, the Open Society Institute. But that support only counts for 15% of our budget. 85% comes from other diverse funders. Now, it's also worth keeping in mind that conservatives have had a decades-long start when it comes to organizing and outreach to young people in college campuses. Conservatives made a major effort to pump cash into college campuses in the 70s, and by the 80s, that work bore fruit. Dinesh D'Souza, Laura Ingraham, Ann Coulter, Ralph Reed, these are just a few of the influential right-wingers that cut their teeth in college campuses in the 80s. And yet Mattera is claiming there's not enough conservative infrastructure on college campuses? That's crazy! Mattera's arguments get crazier and crazier. He says,
young conservatives are generally more active in church, not politics. Think about it. Conservatives look to the individual and the creator for wisdom, guidance, and hope. We don't look to government. And as a result, we're always skeptical about campaigning for someone en route to Washington.
Please. At least since Jerry Falwell and Pat Robertson got into politics 30 years ago, religious conservatives have played a huge role in electoral politics. It's also absurd to imply that conservatives have a monopoly on people of faith. All across America, people of faith are active and engaged in progressive causes and politics. Mattera is either seriously uninformed or being intentionally misleading. Mattera's final reason may be his most nonsensical.
Young conservatives are more likely to join the military than to join a presidential campaign. Liberals don't have to worry about young people leaving their staffs to defend America.
What did he just say? First of all, using our soldiers to make a political point is cheap and reprehensible. Second of all, the point itself is flawed. I agree with the point that the men and women of our armed services are smarter and more capable than conservative leaders like Dick Cheney, who worked hard to avoid military service. But Mattera's claim that the ideological makeup of our military is conservative is based on a Military Times poll he quotes on his blog. A closer look at that same poll shows that only 45% of our military identify as conservative. 47% identify as moderate, liberal, or very liberal. Here at Campus Progress, we meet many former service members, especially in our work on the Iraq War. Plenty of them are progressive, not conservative. So once again, Mattera's arguments are just ridiculous. Once he's done explaining the reasons for conservatism's lack of appeal to young people, Mattera shifts focus and begins offering some ideas and suggestions on how to rectify the situation.
Young people are instinctively conservative. You heard that correctly.
Yes, we heard that correctly, but it's really false. According to a New York Times, CBS News, MTV poll last June, young Americans are more likely than the general public to favor a government-run universal health care insurance system, an open-door policy on immigration, and the legalization of gay marriage. These are three things that conservatives consistently and vocally oppose. Jason Mattera doesn't seem to have any idea what he's talking about. It's the failure of him and many of his friends in the conservative movement to understand what drives young people. This is the problem despite the millions of dollars that conservatives are pumping into college campuses. If Mattera thinks he can attack progressives with the type of old, boring language that conservatives have been using for 10 years, he's free to give it a shot. In the meantime, we'll still be here, building a bigger progressive movement, fighting for real progressive change, and most importantly, listening to what young people care about, not telling them.